I mean, that poor car. I hope it's in a salvage yard somewhere. Switch Cars got in a 2005 Porsche 911 C2, which my customer was very fond of. And his dream was to own a 911. This was an affordable option that this gentleman drives his cars. He's not trying to show, garage queen them. He's going to drive it to work. He's going to modify it. He's going to take it to a racetrack. He's going to have a good time with it. This car came in, had his attention. He had some time left on this lease on a Honda S2000 CR. He's like, I can't have both cars. I don't mind driving those cars. I'm very fond of them, actually. I mean, we could have just made the rest of the gentleman's lease payments, turned the car in, moved on. We didn't want to do that. We wanted to get a little use out of the little Honda, and that we did. So the situation happened where a gentleman that wears a sombrero at times used this car for track days, personal enjoyment, and the car found a tire wall at a racetrack. My customer happened to find out about this. Was not very happy. Said S2000 also made a trek to Chicago, to Autobahn. We drove the S2000 there, me and a good friend of mine. It was a 3-day track weekend. We had a private event on Friday and then an organized track event Saturday, Sunday. So we didn't put 3 good days on it, put brand new brakes, brand new rotors, brand new everything on the car. Well, the car did very well. It probably got a good 350, 400 track miles on it through the thing. So we eventually had to retire it because we ran out of brakes. And when I say we ran out of brakes, there was no brakes left. The problem is we still had 5.5 hours to get home. So we were like, we'll leave a little bit of skin on those just so we can get home. The previous owner of the car was actually at the track day with us. So this was approved by him. We had a good time. I believe he even drove it at the track day. Everybody had a wonderful weekend. On the way home, the brakes were so thin and the car was used so hard, the caliper fell off. And we hear this noise, and we're pulling into a turnpike exit. So we're getting there, and the pedal goes to the floor. Like, oh, no brakes. What do? We downshift, we get it to stop. It had just enough pedal just to get us to stop. We pay our toll, move on. We stop, we limp it into like a Wendy's parking lot. Luckily, the gentleman with me, a good friend of mine, Craig, he's a shade tree mechanic at his finest. He goes, I'm gonna run to Home Depot and get some parts. I go, what's wrong with it? He goes, let's jack it up. So we jack it up, the jack sinks into the asphalt because it's about 100 degrees outside. The car stays on the jack, it stays up, it's okay. He goes, caliper bolt broke. I'm gonna get it out. I'll find a bolt, put it back in. So we still have about 3.5 hours to get back to Cleveland. We get the caliper back in. We do make a couple adjustments. There's no adjustments you can really do for no brake pad. But we made the best of it. We filled up the fluid reservoir, got a little more pressure in it, and we had a car in front of us. We kept the phones alive. Like if you see brake lights, we need everything because we have no brakes. During the journey home, we did have a full cup car Lotus in a trailer, which is not street legal. You get pulled over in that, really bad things happen. So we were this close to ripping that cup car out of the trailer, putting a license plate in the back of it and putting the other car in the trailer. This is one of those stories that makes me feel really stupid right now. Shouldn't have happened, won't happen again. Nobody got hurt. Car lived on. We get it home eventually, because we did not want to exceed 65, 70 miles an hour, because if you have to stop the car, the e-brake still worked, by the way. So we could get the car to a stop. So we basically drove the car home on no brakes, e-brake assist, with a caliper that just fell off, Home Depot'd back on. I mean, it was one heck of a journey. Customer comes in, sees the car, he's like, whoa, where's the wing? I'm like, well, it's in the corner. I'll put that back on. Don't worry about that. That's fine. He goes, what happened to the front quarter? I go, well, tire wall, Nelson ledges, Oh, okay. He's like, you know, you're responsible for all this. I'm like, well, yeah, that's fine. So he leaves. He's a little upset. Lease turn-in professional comes in. Comes, looks at the car, goes, what do you think? And I go, I don't know. You tell me. You're doing lease inspection. Check your boxes. Do your thing. By the way, can I get you water, lunch, dinner, anything you want past this car? He starts laughing and giggling. He goes, it's not that bad. I've seen way worse than this. I'm like, oh. I'm like, do you need to drive it? He goes, no, I don't drive them. I just inspect them. I'm in the back of my head, I'm like, please don't see the chunks out of the front tires. Because they were mismatched tires, overheated on a racetrack, tread was missing. But if you put a tread gauge on it, they were perfect. Rear tires, a little thin, got close on that. So he goes, well, did somebody try to repair this front quarter? I go, I beat it with a hammer a little bit to make it a little straighter. I was like, does it meet your criteria? He goes, yeah, looks okay to me. Check. I'm like, no way. Did you really? Okay, I'm just going to shut up. I'm going to stand back. This is going really well. About 10 minutes later, he's like, yeah, sign here. I'm like, well, what do I owe you? I'm assuming we owe you something for the damage on the car. He goes, no, you're good. In Honda lease contracts, you have $1,500 in damage repair. And I go, well, okay. Well, how much do you assume is damage to this car? He goes, you still have about $800 left on your damage repair. I go, whoa, really? Okay, thank you. Sign this. I'll drop the car off tomorrow. Car goes back to the dealer. Lease turn in. Customer still not too stoked. He had some emotions towards that car. Well, it's gone now. And it had a lot of fun with it. Passed lease inspection. I hope it's being enjoyed as much as we enjoyed that car today.